everyone. Welcome back to the Fast Five, the online series that answers your health and well-being questions fast. Today, I have such a treat for you because it's my dear friend, Missy Bunch. I got really excited about that. That's why my voice went up so high. Hi, Missy. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I cannot wait to talk to you. Now, before we talk, though, if you guys are listening, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed and liked this channel already, go ahead and do it now so that you can be notified next time a video drops. And now back to Missy, who is a injury rehab specialist with a focus on neurology. That was very hard for me to say, everyone, because I know Missy as my friend. So I'm like, you forget that people have these wonderful titles. So, Missy, before we get into the Fast Five, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I know no one gets into this line of work because everything went well.
Oh, that was powerful. You're right though, right? That's why we get into it, because something happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was deep. Okay, I wasn't ready for that, and I'm going to steal it because that was really good. So you're very right. Yeah, I didn't just have zero pain in my life, and so I decided to help people with pain. Okay, that's really good. So just a quick bio of me. I've been a professional dancer my whole life. I started dancing at 3 years old, and I literally, to this day, will never forget the way it made me feel. I was on the stage, and when you're on stage, you actually don't see people, you see lights. People think we can see them, but we can't really. They're just like little heads, like dark silhouettes, and you see lights that are very bright. And I just remember being in this little outfit at about 3 or 4, and I just had a feeling. When you're 3, you don't know what a feeling is, but I remember feeling something like, I like this. So I've always been a performer. I've just been in love with movement and the way it makes me feel for so long. And then being able to receive the joy that it brought to my friends and family. They'd run up to me after recitals with flowers, like, that was so awesome. And so I would get this feedback like, wow, I can move and perform and contribute to others and make them happy and laugh and smile. And that's a nice feeling. So I continued to do that. So if you fast forward, got my dance degree, did this whole, choreography situation. I got scholarships to a couple places, and I finished my dance degree at San Francisco State. And then I moved to Orange County, and what happened really was my dad passed away when I was 19. And it was really a dark time because it was like that. I woke up on Christmas morning to wake him up because it was getting late. I was like, why is no one awake? And I did not know this is the path I was going to go down. Here I am on this interview. So I go to wake him up, and he was not alive. And that was very, it was very jarring. It really shook me up. So I went into this deep, dark depression for about 2 years. And I was sitting there one day, like in a corner. I had just eaten an entire box of Little Caesars pizza, like a $5 pizza. I tried to consume the whole thing by myself.
Yeah, those are big.
They're big. I don't know if I did, but I wanted to. It's like I looked at it and decided I'm going to eat this whole thing. Like, gross. And I thought it's really weird, but I thought if my dad was like hovering over me right now, he would be really disappointed. Like, I was just sitting there, I'm like, "Rrr." And then I felt really guilty because I'd been doing that for like 2 years. And so I decided I want to get paid to do what I love. That's what I'm going to do, because I want to show him, I want to make him proud and not waste my life or make a really bad decision, like end my life. So I thought, okay, what's one thing I've always wanted? I wanted to get paid to dance. So I auditioned for the Golden State Warriors. I don't know how, but I kept making round after round after round. There was like a lot of people there. And I kept making every cut. It was very weird because I didn't know I was talented at that time. I just knew I loved to dance. Then I kept making rounds. Okay, so then during my second season, I'm on the court in the middle of the court and I'm doing these turns and I have to get through 32 of them. And on my fourth rep, my body turns and my foot stays because the court is sticky and cheer shoes are sticky. So trying to turn in them is like impossible, but you do it anyways because you're like so young and nothing matters. And I hear a loud pop thing crack. I don't know what it was. And it like vibrated my spine. It was like, and I remember I'm in the middle of the performance and we're always taught to smile bigger when something goes wrong. So I'm like, that was not good. And I'm like, So finish the dance off of adrenaline, go off into the tunnel, collapse, like something with my knee, da, 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 right? So then I spent 4 years trying to fix my knee pain. MRI showed nothing. You're fine. Not what? But my knee hurts. Like walking hurt, dancing hurt, go hiking hurt, everything hurt. So finally, after 4 years of trying to figure it out, I did everything, by the way, chiropractic, PT, cortisone shots, steroids, acupuncture, ate really weird things. I did all these things and never missed a prescription or like I did it all. And I meet someone, her name's Kristen Nolan. She goes, okay, I heard about this company called Z Health. I just got back from this course and they are telling me that if you have knee pain, you should assess your elbow. And I was like, that makes so much sense. Like that was the weirdest thing I had ever heard ever. But at the same time, I was hopeless, depressed, and frustrated because all I want to do is dance. So I just go, whatever. At this point, I would literally do anything. And so she explains to me that when you're walking and your left leg is forward, your right arm is the one that's with it, right? If you step with your right foot, your left arm swings forward, and how everything goes in an X. And that's how gait is. It's just a reflex in your body. And that was the most logical thing I had heard about the human body in the 4 years I had been trying to fix myself. And so I do some elbow mobility and my knee pain was gone in one moment and it never came back. Never came back. Like I have goosebumps all. So I was bawling my eyes out. I was angry. Like it was weird. I was upset but happy. And so I was like, don't talk to me for like a couple days. And I was like jumping on my knee and walking around like, where's my knee pain? This is crazy voodoo witchcraft. So it was just so simple though. It's just how the body works in opposition, especially when it comes to the limbs. So I dedicated the next 11 years of my life to studying neurology and pain and how it works and how your brain perceives pain. And I just thought to myself, if I didn't know this, a body person, then what is the average Joe gonna do when their knee hurts?
Oh my God. What a story.
That's what happened. Here we are.
There's just so many things to pick up on. But it is what I'm always fascinated with the body. And I think that you really articulated here is it's a pretty logical thing and it wants to heal itself and it's capable of doing so. Not all the time, but a lot of the time it is. And we often don't have these tools. Like I worked in health healthcare and public health for so long. And it wasn't until I went into holistic health coaching that I learned like, oh, food affects your mood.
Oh,
Oh, these things cause stress. And it's just, I laugh about it now, but it's amazing how hard it is to get these truths told to us unless we go see like voodoo witchcrafty things, when really it's like natural just means it's been around for like thousands of years and has
ever.
worked. I'm just
Right.
throwing that out there. So with all of that, if you guys don't know by now, Missy is an expert in helping people relieve pain. So this episode is going to be about, because you have helped so many people. I know with it, you've helped me. Like when my back freaking hurts, I'm like, I rotate my elbow. Okay, cool. Or like move
Right.
my leg, and it's gone within days.
Okay.
So, first question I'm gonna ask you, pretty basic, but I think it's really important. Is question one: what is pain?
Okay, we're going to just keep this simple because it's a fast five. Pain is a signal to do something different.
Yeah. I wish I could drop this mic for you, but I can't. But yes, I love that. Super simple. All right. With that being said, then question
Mhm.
two: when should you address pain? And the context I'll give for it is just going back to something like a knee. Is so many people I know, their knee hurts, their knee hurts, their knee hurts, their knee hurts, but they don't do anything about it until it's time for surgery.
Right.
And we see this happen with so many other things. Like my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts, my elbow hurts. I'm not going to do anything until I can't bend it and I have to go into surgery. So at what point do you address pain?
Immediately. Immediately. So you think of it like this: your discomfort, your issue, your dysfunction, your whatever it is, it's it's whispering to you for a really long time. And most of us are not quiet enough to hear the whispers. Then it gets a little louder. And then it gets a little louder. And then it's like, you're not listening to me. Can anyone relate to that in any way, shape, or form? Your body is super smart. It has been trying to communicate to you for a long time. Whatever it is, it could be like my jaw hurts, right? And then it's like, yeah. So address it immediately, because that's the sad thing is we wait until pain is debilitating, affects our quality of life, affects our mood, affects our movement, affects our sleep, affects our job. And then now it's worthy of the investment to investigate. But what if you just took care of yourself a little bit every day and never had pain ever?
I just love how bluntly you put that. Truly, because it's the same thing when it comes to how some people come to me when they have, they're like like borderline diabetic, they're afraid of heart disease, like they're all their numbers are saying they're moving that way, and it's like they want to reverse it in 2 or 3 weeks, and it's like it took years to get here because your body's always going to compensate, right? It's always going to compensate for you, but it hits a point where it can't, and it's frankly unwilling because you won't listen to it. Like why would it keep giving
It
you the
doesn't
goods?
trust you.
Mm, don't want I want everyone to hear that. It doesn't trust
It
you.
doesn't trust you.
And it when people say that, I remember when I used to hear that, I'd be like, oh, it's so woo, it's so weird. But there is a relation. You have to have a relationship with your body, which is how you hear the whispers instead of only listening to the Mack truck, which is what I call the screaming, yelling.
Mm.
Because we're always getting whispers, but we tend to wait for the brick or the Mack truck. And I'm just saying it's a lot easier with the whispers. So,
So
okay.
much easier.
So much easier.
Like we can fix that whisper in like probably 15 minutes, but the Mack truck, what?
It's like a little bit longer.
Yeah, like
Like
you
maybe like a
now need
year or
a hip
two longer.
replacement, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
and we want immediate fixes. So it's like if you want immediate fixes, you've got to take care of it immediately. And I think that's a really important point. And I love that. And so with that, I'm curious now what your answer is to question 3, because this came in and I don't know. I love this question because I never thought of it. So question 3, why do people's joints hurt in the morning?
Oh, yeah, I love this. Okay, why do people's joints hurt in the morning? Which is hilarious because whoever wrote that is saying, why do my joints hurt in the morning?
Duh, of
He
course.
doesn't know what everyone else is feeling, but great, or he. Um, so what happens typically, I can't say for sure because I don't know the history of this person, but your joints are like, they need a certain type of fluid to lubricate them, right? It's called synovial fluid. The only way to get your joints lubricated is by moving the joint. So if your wrist is stiff, it's because it hasn't moved and therefore has no synovial fluid. It is literally dry and stiff. It's like literally it doesn't have the lubrication, so it feels like that. So the short way to say that is lack of movement means lack of synovial fluid equals joint stiffness and discomfort, especially in the mornings because you're laying there doing nothing. That person typically finds healing and feeling better throughout the day. I woke up feeling stiff and I start to move and move. And by 10 o'clock, I'm like, don't even notice. But then the next morning again, and then the next morning again.
And can you prevent joint pain in the morning?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can move your joints. So, every one of my clients does joint mobility every day. It can take anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be all at once, but we do move every single joint of the body at some point in the day.
for people who we'll talk about ways for people to get in touch with you. But if someone's like, okay, I need to know all of this now, I'm going to put a plug in for Movement IQ immediately for their Instagram handle and their subscription service, because you can find out a lot of this stuff there. And it's fun to watch. It really is.
It
And
is.
then it's really helpful, like super, super,
Yeah.
super duper
It
helpful.
will literally change your life.
Yeah. Especially if you have joint pain in the morning. So
in the morning.
whoever asked this.
Yes. Whoever asked that, you definitely want to check out the subscription or the membership. The thing is, if you guys can tell, I try to explain things very down to earthly and simply, because when I learned all this stuff, it's very complex and they use really big words and I don't learn that way. So it has taken me my whole lifetime to explain things in a simple way. And I want people to not be intimidated by neurology. I want them to be like, oh, I know exactly what Missy said. I need to move my joints because of some weird fluid and that will make me feel better.
Man, I just want to say you're so good at it. You're so good at it, because I work in health. It's still what you do is still overwhelming to me. I'm like, yeah, sure. But if you tell me how to move, if you give me the basic reason why I'm putting a pencil in front of my eyeballs and then moving my nose to my shoulder, which is an exercise her husband made me do because I was getting like kind of crazy vertigo. It's great. It's super helpful.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what that exercise is, Movement IQ. They talk about it. All right. So
we can do this. 2 more questions. Okay.
Yeah. Fourth question. I like this one too. Does stretching help with pain? And if so, do you do it before or after working out?
Okay, so I would ask this person, you tell me, when you stretch, does your pain go down? Yes or no? And the fact that they're asking these questions means they're not getting the results that they need. So, vaguely, typically stretching does not decrease pain. Stretching feels good, kind of, or not, kind of hurts. I don't know. Just depends on who you are, right? As a dancer, I thought stretching was like the answer to everything. I thought stretching made you more flexible. But in reality, it's extremely inefficient And there are way quicker ways to get the range of motion you're looking for. For example, would you rather stare at your thumb and move your nose down and right for 3 times for 10 seconds? Or do you want to stretch your hamstrings for 45 minutes a day for 5 years and hopefully touch the ground one day, right? Now trust me, as a dancer, it was literally like insulting my religion when I found out stretching doesn't give me the long-term results and short-term results that I'm looking for. So stretching is great if you get the results you're looking for. If you are going to stretch, it's not in the morning, it's after your workout when you're very warm.
We're going to get to this last question, but I just have to add every single time I talk to people who are really in their field and what I'm going to have to call a more alternative way to address things, which I don't think this is it's not crazy alternative, but you know what I mean? I always walk away being like, "Oh my god, what I thought to be true is not." And it blows my mind, like conventional wisdom is not wisdom. It's just things that are passed down over and over and over again. Because if you were to tell me about that about stretching, I'd be like, "Excuse me?" But now it makes sense because Ryan, her husband, never explained to me why I'm doing hip flexor as warm-ups for workouts. But I do, I open my hips and the rotations and the bending down and all these things you guys don't need to see me
Yeah.
do in the morning. But it that works so much better for me than stretching
Yeah.
ever did. But if you were to tell me that was going to be your answer, I would have been like, no. Absolutely. She's going to say stretching's great. Everyone knows stretching's great. Apparently, conventional wisdom
Yeah.
is wrong. In health,
I mean,
more
yeah,
often than not, which is the wild part.
it's
Like,
insane. I mean, imagine telling someone who spent how old am I? I'm 35. I've been stretching since I was 3. And for someone to look me in the eyes and be like, there is a way more efficient way to get whatever you're trying to get. Hamstring flexibility is a popular one. So I use it a lot. People like to touch the floor with their fingertips. Like, what? You can get that in 10 seconds, or you can get it with stretching your hamstrings for a very long time. Both get you the result, right? But who has time for that?
my mind's really blown right now. Like, I almost can't continue on, but I am going to because it's only one more question.
You're like, this
But
last question.
I was like, watching you so intently, being like, just running through everything in my head from like swimming when I was young to like what I have in my head. I'm like, so yes, my, like, oh my gosh, my whole brain.
This feels great. It feels amazing. We like that.
Oh my God, my brain is blown. Okay, so,
I love stretching, but is it going to reduce pain? I don't know.
oh, Missy. Okay, so question 5, final question we got here. Um,
Is it?
if there is one thing that you hope people took away from this conversation, what do you hope it is?
I let me go this way. I hope that here's my real answer. Okay. I know I'm silly, but I hope people take out of this that healing yourself does not have to be complicated. I swear to you, I have probably been in this situation several hundred times where you could say my shoulder hurts and I go, let's try this one thing. And then your shoulder feels better and you want more. You want me to give you more exercises, more science, more. I just can't do this one thing. And then now typically it's not just one thing, but you get what I'm saying. It can be simple. It could be 3 exercises that could really change your shoulder pain. And people want healing to be way more complicated than it is.
That is everything. I feel like that I really hope people heard that because we the conversation I was having beforehand was about infertility issues. And
Mhm.
what I keep coming up to time and time again as I dive into this work more and more, it can be simple. Is it easy to wrap your mind around? Maybe not. Is it
Maybe not.
easy to execute given all of the blocks that we have or like what we perceive to be issues in our life? Maybe not. But is it simple? Yeah. 9 times out of 10 it is. Not
Mhm.
every time, but for most of us it is. And I just, man, that was so good. So I know we already talked about movement IQ, but if people want to get in touch with you or your husband, because he's pretty dope too, how do they do that?
You know, you already said it. Just yeah, it's movementiq.co. And on Insta, it's movementiq.co. On Twitter, on all the things, it's really easy to find us. If you forget what my business is, you can just type in Missy Bunch in Google and all the things will come up. And it's very easy to get a hold of myself or Ryan. And we love to hear from people. So,
And I should note that the reason I keep bringing up Ryan is because he's her partner in life, but also at Movement IQ.
yes,
So there's
business partner, husband, baby daddy, Erica's coach.
my coach making me move during pregnancy,
Yes.
checking on my good mornings because I'm like, I don't understand. But that's TMI and a conversation for offline. So Missy, thank you so much for being on here. And again, if you guys like this episode and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and do that now so you can be notified when wonderful guests like Missy and others come on. So with that, thank you so much for coming on,
You're
and
so
I'll talk
welcome.
to you soon.
Okay. Bye.